Hello, it's Stephanie with Coffee, Paper, Scissors. So I have been working on this tea-themed journal that the digitals I purchased from Creating with Jovi. I will link that in the description box if you're interested. Not everything is from that digital kit, so when something isn't, I'll point that out so that you know it's, not coming from that kit. I've never done a cover with this like belly band on the front and back, so that was a new little thing for me. I didn't know really what I wanted to do on the front, and I thought, maybe I'll do a pocket. And then I started, looking through laces and trims and things that I had, and I had this, and I thought, you know what, that would be a really pretty belly band. So it goes all the way, across the spine and onto the back. And then I added a flower. And if you go to the Dollar Tree, you can purchase their fake flowers and take them apart and build your own flowers. And then I put it on with a brad. It is removable. So if you take everything out, you open it, it kind of loosens the belly band where you can stick your fingers and loosen the brad. So this is spoken for. So if the person who is receiving it doesn't want the flower there, maybe wants to put it somewhere else, you can remove it. Okay, so then in the front, I have a couple of tags, and you can always take something from inside the journal and put it there instead. Or maybe you have something of your own that you would like to put there instead. Little piece of thread. But I have these for now. And you guys, I just got this embossing folder. Oh my goodness. Isn't that so stinking pretty? When it came out, I was so excited. I made 2 of them. I didn't find a place for this one in the journal, but I will be sending it along. So here is the embossing folder. And I did, one side of it, and then I did the other side of it to get 2 different. Oh, I mean, my goodness, it's so pretty. I wanted to do white stitching around the edge, but I was afraid if I did, it would squish the pattern, so I didn't. But oh my goodness, so both of those will be. So, and it depends, like maybe you like it with just, I'm not in frame, with just, nothing. But I thought just to bring the color of the fabric in, I thought I'd put that down there. But like I said, you can mix and match and switch whatever you want to your liking. In the back, there is another, and this is from the digital kit. It's actually one of the pages, and I just cut the page down to make them large tags. Oops, so pretty. And I only put the one in the back because, I didn't want to squish. Once again, I didn't want the book to squish the pattern. The spine is beaded. You guys, there are 6 signatures. I did them smaller signatures, but more signatures, trying to have less space in between, like when the book is open, less space in between the signatures. But then with that, I thought I wanted to do beads, and instead of doing like just as many beads on every string, I did fewer because they wouldn't have fit. They have to offset each other. So they move around a little bit, but that's okay. It's all nice and tight. It's just that they're such different sizes that they move around, but I think it's so pretty. All right, and it has a stretchy lace closure. All right, I'm gonna get this situated and sit down. Hopefully that's good, not crooked or anything. It's hard to tell. Like I always say, I'm looking at my camera right now to see it, but there's a, the holder is kind of going right through the camera frame. So again, I wasn't sure what to do on the inside here as far as pockets, but then I finally decided a doily would be really pretty. This is not part of the kit. This is from a different kit that I purchased eons ago from someone else. So, but the words are. So I just did a large journaling card there. Added trim. And then I just fussy cut one of the images off of the kit to make a side tuck. And then this is also from the kit. I made it bigger. I expanded it and cut it out. Added a little lace on the top. This is a stamp that I made from one of my stamps and then colored it. That was kind of fun. I intended it for something else, but that didn't work out. I did a little stamping. I don't remember usually to do a lot of stamping. So I have lots of embossing folders and don't use them, and I don't know why. So I have been trying really hard to remember to pull them out. So this is another one that I have, and I put some ink over it, some white ink over it, just to bring out the pattern. This is also fussy cut from the kit. It was actually like maybe a little journaling card or something, and instead of using it that way, I just fussy cut the image out. Little doily tuck. So I just did a little pad there for journaling and stamped. And then a large journaling card over here. I stamped a little tag. I tend to not use my stamps, so I'm trying to use things that I don't generally use. Okay, and down here, I found on Amazon some little tea charms, and then some beads. So you guys, my lisp from my Invisalign is a little different. I went yesterday and got new trays that are shaped differently. They actually have a couple of stopping points that they hit each other, and so it's causing my speech to be more impeded than it was before. So I'm sorry about that. And another bummer is that it started out that I was going to be all fixed up with 20 trays. So when I went back yesterday, because things weren't lining up properly, they started me at number 1 of 14 trays. Oh my goodness. I was like, no, I thought I was so close to being done. Okay. I keep feeling like I'm out of frame. So this is a vintage card. I just thought, it was perfect. It went so pretty. Thoughts of you. Just a cheery hello. All kinds of journaling in the inside, but so pretty. And then I just altered a little paper clip there. Just put some music paper around it and glued a little bow. So this is a punch around the page, Martha Stewart, type thing, where if you have her just the right, stamps, which I was fortunate to find at a yard sale at one point. Adorable page from a book. They're getting ready to go for their little tea party. And this is also a page from a book. We'll flip up here. We did make these together. So, yeah, I haven't been making videos. Sometimes life just gets the better of you. There's nothing, really wrong. I'm just so busy doing things. I did a little embossing down the page there. This is a stamp that I received from one of my subbies, Susan, and a little doily there. So thank you, Susan, for adding to this journal. A little tuck here. Lots of things going on right now. Little paper pad. I did some more stamping. I figured, you need a menu for your tea party. Anyway, we have like a home improvement project going on right now. And there's a ladies function with my church that I'm involved in. So there's meetings for that. I also added washi as much as I could here and there. The charm here is a little teapot and then just some beads. And I do believe we did this together. I added quite a bit of washi. This one is a little tricky to get out, but it comes out. I was going to sew around it, but I thought, you know what? I don't need to make it any more difficult to pull in and out of this. The opening technically would be better over on this other side, but it does go in and out. Some pretty flower trim along the side. I love how that pokes out and you can see it with the blue behind it. And then more embossing on this side here and more washi tape with little teapot and teacups. Yeah, and so just, you know, things going on. And when there's so many things going on, my crafty side of my brain just kind of shuts off. Another stamp. And then the other side of that book page. I used another embossing folder here and just did like a little double pocket. And then again, I shrunk down that page. That was like one of my favorite pages of this, this kit. So it's the same as what's on the front and back. It's from that page. I just, you know, you just make it bigger or smaller, however you need for what you're doing. And I don't remember if this was from the kit or not. But anyway, I fussy cut it out and just added it to some cardstock to stick down in there. And this is stuck down, but it's loose. So again, it's one of those things that you could stick something else behind it if you wanted to. I'm not saying this because it doesn't go, but you know, another tag or something could go behind it if you chose. And then I have, this is an old Graphics Fairy kit that I've had forever and a day. My friend Donna gave me years ago. It goes perfectly in this journal. And then here we have a little spoon and more beads, a little teaspoon. This flips out and there's a little page here. And then of course all the writing here. We made these together. Man, it's been forever. I don't like it when my creativity shuts off. So I hinged it with washi on both sides. And I, you know, reinforced with glue so it's not coming off. This is a book page, picture from a book page. This is a lady who's ready for a tea party. And so is she. Another page from a book. I don't know, it's so pretty. And then I did the little punch on the side. It would be fun to color it, but you know, you can journal on the side or you can add something to it. Same over here. So this is, man, I found this at a thrift store in a pack forever ago. And you know how you're like, oh, I'll use that someday. Finally, someday is here. And then I took, and again, I used an embossing folder and made a journaling card. And this is a image from a book that I have. And I just positioned her just so that her face would show in the frame. And then I did some really pretty beaded trim down the side of this one. Let's see. This flips up for journaling. And then I have a journaling card here. This is not from the kit. It's from a different ledger kit that I purchased at one point. And then I added, on this envelope, I added washi tape and another little flower. This is a card. It was a card, but I cut the one, you know, how you open it. I cut that off and just backed it with some other paper. But I thought it was really cute. Like, you know, you could go there to get whatever you need to dress up for your tea party. It's a little shop. Yesterday's fashions, it says. And then another vintage card. This one doesn't open because, I mean, I suppose if you cut this right here, this could open for journaling on the inside, but this part has to stay closed because of this little acetate window that's in it. So, you know, you could make a little booklet out of it if you wanted to cut this part open and journal there. And then here we have another little teapot and beads. And then on this little tab, I just used some offcuts of the embossing, you know, pages that I'd been using. We did this one together. This was the thing I dreamed about, how you take it all out and you can write directly across the lines. And then you just kind of have like decorative writing then afterwards when you put your things back in. Thought that was cute. And then this is from a stamp that I have. The other side of that page. And we have a little girl who's, you know, I figure she's gonna have a tea party with her toys. Backed it onto coffee dyed paper. And then another, this isn't from the kit. I found that on Graphics Fairy website. I did a little stamping there, and then I used my paper punch and just tried to find papers in my stash that kind of went with, oopsie, the page underneath. And then this is the third one that we had made together. And then I made a tag also out of that book page. Again, I think it would be really cute to just sit and color a little stencil. A little bit of, this is also from my friend Susan. Thank you, Susan. And then journaling on the back side. And then here we have a little teacup and saucer, and then more beads. Doily tuck. This is, I found a little notebook, you know, like a little post-it notebook at a little thrift market-y type thing. I stamped a little kitty and teapot there. But I just double-sided it onto some cardstock and made a little flip out. And then a little tuck spot here. So, you know, lots of journaling. And then a recipe card. And then this is actually, I wrote this from a banana muffin recipe that I use. You guys, these are the best banana muffins. So if you want to write that down, they are so good. The butter, you guys, you can taste the butter. It is so yummy. I do make mine with gluten-free flour just out of necessity, and they still work. It still turns out so yummy. So I thought I'd add that because, you know, banana muffin might be fun for a tea party. Pretty little heart trim. And then, oh, that page. So pretty. Again, it's where I made, you know, from those tags. I have a lady from a book. And then also this fan I found on the Graphics Fairy website. I thought that'd be a cute little tuck. Stamped here. And then, again, this teapot, this teapot is from Graphics Fairy. And I just glued the side down, you know, just to make a tuck spot. So this actually flips up. There's journaling on the back side of that. And then it tucks underneath. So you could leave it like that, or you can add this back in. This is also from Graphics Fairy. And then this opens up, added some washi. Not part of the kit, but I can't remember where that came from. I find stuff kind of everywhere. Added washi there and here. Did a little stamping. This one is, so it's an upper belly band, and it's like you can write on the whole page. It flops back down and it's only attached on the two sides. And then this is another vintage card that I thought was so pretty and would go well in this journal. Now, you can open it up, but when you do, it pulls the ribbon through those holes, which I have done, I can't tell you how many times during making this journal, but you do feed them right back through and it lays flat. So if you want to open it up for journaling, then you can. But I just thought that was so pretty. Okay, and then again, it tucks right up inside like that. And then this is also a place where you could tuck something if you wanted. But that doesn't go, so. I am sending some things along, so you'll be able to, play. A little journaling page there. This is another vintage card. I don't know why. I keep feeling it to see what is sticking, but it slightly sticks when it's closed, and I can't figure out why. But that opens all the way up. More stamping on this side. Oh, and then this also is not from the kit. It's from a different kit. The saying is from the kit, though. And then this is I don't know, I think it's like one of those vintage reproduction postcard type things. I think it's old, but it's not like an original. I don't know what it is. I found it somewhere or somebody gave it to me. Can't recall. But I thought she was, ready for a tea party as well. Added washi on the back there. Look at how closely that goes, That's washi, you guys. That's just crazy to me. And then more washi here. I had the made by me stamp. I missed this one has another little teapot and more beads. And then the back side, this one's not from this kit. Okay, so as I said, this one is spoken for, so thank you very much. And I hope that my my videos start coming, more frequently, but we'll see. We'll see what happens. I'm kind of wanting to go through things in my craft room and do a little bit of rearranging. I think maybe that's also kind of gotten me stuck because I keep, my brain keeps going there. Anyway, you guys, thank you so much for watching. I hope you have a beautiful day. We'll see you in the next video.